Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Touching Evil by Kay Hooper, narrated by Elisa Bresnahan. This work is copyrighted 2001 by Kay Hooper. This recording is copyrighted 2002 by Recorded Books. Some cops think police sketch artist Maggie Barnes is telepathic, that she can actually enter the victims' minds. Only Maggie knows the truth behind her rare talent, and she isn't telling. And now, Touching Evil.
Prologue. It was cold. She could feel the wind tugging at her hair, hear it whining around the eaves and rattling what sounded like a loose piece of tin somewhere. The cold, moisture-laden air left her skin clammy and chilled her all the way to her bones. She supposed she was in shock. It was an odd sensation. Shock. A curious sort of limbo where nothing disturbed her very much. So it must have been instinct rather than concern that prompted her to move, to pull herself forward despite the pain. The unevenness of the floor was both a help and a torture, providing fingerholds even as it cruelly scraped her skin and gouged her body. She felt one of her fingernails tear painfully and was conscious of dirt and crusted blood underneath the few that were left undamaged. And probably corrupting evidence or something. Probably really screwing things up. But that didn't seem important either. She focused on what was. Just keep reaching out, one hand at a time. Hold on to something, no matter how much it hurts. Pull yourself forward, no matter how much it hurts. It became automatic, mechanical. Reach, grab, pull. Reach, grab, pull. There went another fingernail. Damn. Reach, grab, pull. When her reaching fingers abruptly encountered thin air, it took her several minutes of fumbling exploration to realize she was at the top of the stairs. Stairs. Just the thought of her aching body bumping down rough step after rough step made her shudder, and she heard a thin sound of dread hardly louder than a whimper escape her swollen lips. It was going to hurt like hell. It did. Somewhere near the bottom, her strength gave out, and she slid over the last few steps in an agonizing rush that left her sprawled, limp and sobbing quietly on the ancient tile floor that smelled of dirt and cooked cabbage and urine. She might have slept a while, or maybe just lay unconscious, because her body refused to go on. But eventually the same instinct that had driven her this far insisted she begin moving again. I have to. I have to. Yes, you have to. That was peculiar. That other alien voice in her head. She thought about it for a while, curling into a fetal position on her side even though the position was more painful. It was getting harder and harder to breathe. Broken rib, probably. 3 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Listen to me, Hollis. You have to keep moving. Someone will be passing by in just a few minutes. If you aren't outside by then, you won't be found until tomorrow. How strange. The voice knew her name. Tomorrow will be too late, Hollis. Yes, she thought it probably would be too late. Do you want to live? Did she? She thought she did. Not that it would be the life she had once before. In fact, it might not be much of a life at all, but, damn it, she wanted it. If only to live long enough for... vengeance? Justice. Hollis turned painfully back onto her belly and began the methodical effort of inching forward once again. She thought she was making progress, at least until she encountered a wall. Damn. Listening, she thought she could hear faint traffic sounds. That was her only clue to the whereabouts of a door that would allow her to escape the building. She began to feel her way along the wall toward the sounds. It was getting colder. The wind that had whistled through the building during her entire agonizing journey downstairs was blowing in her face now. She guessed the building had long ago lost most of its windows and doors, so the wind found easy passage, stirring the dust and mold of many long years of neglect, even as it cut into her shivering body. Just a little farther now, Hollis. She wondered why the voice didn't just call 911, but thought that was probably too much to ask of a figment of her imagination. There's the doorway. Feel it?
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.